We're back.
We're back.
After a break.
Tyler's back, more specifically.
Yeah.
Thank you for 300 subs, guys. Finally hit 300. I think we're about 330 now. Goal is 1K by the end of this year. And yeah, just help us get there by hitting the sub button down below. Maybe we'll have like a link or some shit.
It's right under the video.
Don't put that in there.
Playing at the house game again.
Yes, sir.
It's the 1-2. Well, I guess like it disguised the 1-2, but it's a 1-2.
It's like a 1-2-4, 500 cap. And it plays pretty big. Honestly, plays like a 2-3, maybe like a 2-4. I don't know. It plays big. It's pretty much like a Texas game, but in my house.
You've seen this house game before, like 3 times now at this point.
You've seen the bullshit that goes on. You've seen how bad these guys are.
Yeah, thanks guys for the support lately. It's been really sick to see. And we'll see you guys in the hands.
On the felt, bro. On the felt. Remember we discussed?
What do you mean? Discuss what?
See you on the felt. That was our outro every single time.
All right, see you on the fucking felt.
See you on the felt. Thank you.
All right, guys, before we get into the hands, just want to show you guys a couple of results that we had from games off tape and off camera. Ended up booking a few good wins, trying to battle this downswing. I think we played about 7 sessions since Tyler was busy with who knows what. Fortunately, we won around 3 or 4K these past 7 sessions. Happy to be on the good side of poker and turn this downswing around. Hopefully, as we start vlogging, I can get some of these wins on tape. Let's get into the hands. All right, guys, in our first hand, we look down at 9-8 of hearts in the small blind. The button opens up the action to $17. I decide to play this one tricky and 3-bet it up to $65. This was actually an accident because initially I heard someone say that the action was open to $22. But oh well, the money's out there. Let's win this hand. He decides to make the call. So we're heads up to a nice looking board of King 7-4 with 1 heart. We got some backdoors with our specific holding and have a lot of King X's in our range, so we decide to bet this one to $55, and we get the good news pretty quickly when he makes the fold. Nice to win our first hand.
So in this hand, I'm at the big blind with King Jack suited, and undergun +2 opens up to 15. I want to raise it up here with a suited Broadway hand, so I make it 45 and +2 calls. Flop comes Jack 6-4 with 2 clubs, so we flop ourselves top pair with a good kicker. I bet $27 and he makes the call. Turns another jack. I bet $85 and +2 jams it in there for $200. I obviously call. River's a club, which is actually not that good. I end up winning when the opponent flips over. A few hands later, we have the second best hand in poker, pocket kings, and the low jack opens up to 15. This is music to my ears, and I 3-bet to 45. The big blind cold calls, and then the low jack 4-bets to $130. I look at his stack, he only has 140 left, so not much of a decision for me, especially with the big blind behind me. I jam it in there, and big blind gets out the way. He calls pretty quickly, and he has ace king, and he asks to run it twice, and in these type of games, sure, I'll run it twice for him. And the first board actually comes ace high, but we make a 4-card flush, which is actually really good for us, as most of his aces are now dead. But the second board, unfortunately, comes an ace on the river. Pretty sad that we chop it here, but what are you gonna do about it? Just time to move on to the next hand.
In the next interesting hand, we pick up ace queen of hearts in under the gun 2. I open the action to $10. The button and the small blind make the call. Heading 3 ways to a flop of 8-6 deuce with 1 heart. The small blind, of course, donk leads for $12, a common theme in these games, as you guys know. I think a call here is fine since I have a lot of backdoor options and 2 overs. The button makes the fold, heads up to a turn of a 9, which is no heart, unfortunately. When he continues here for $25, I don't think I want to float this any further. I decide to make the fold and wait for a better spot.
In this next hand, I have 9-8 of diamonds under the gun +2. I open it up to $10. The small blind calls, the high jack calls, and the low jack calls. Flop comes Jack 7-2 with 2 diamonds. I bet $12 and the high jack and low jack call. Turns an ace. Pretty good card for my range, and I still have the 9 high flush. So I decide to play my flush draw out of position quite aggressively here. I bet $80 and get raised to 205 by the low jack. Now, I'm not sure why he's raising me here, especially on a card that suits my range way more heavily than his, unless he has a set that he didn't decide to raise, or a 2-pair now with ace jack or jack 7 maybe. These games can get a little weird. But either way, I figured that I'm still okay with my flush draw, so I do make the call. River's an offsuit king, and not going to barrel off here. I check. Low jack bets $300, and I have no choice but to make the fold. So in this next hand, I have pocket 7s in the small blind, and the high jack opens up to 12. The low jack 3-bets to 40, And sitting here in the small blind, raising ranges in this game are pretty loose, much looser than a normal game at a casino. So I do something kind of out of the ordinary for me, and I cold call out of the small blind. Probably not the best play, but I think I can get away with it here. And the hijack makes the call. Flop comes ace 4-3 with 2 hearts. I check, and it surprisingly checks around. The low jack decides not to put out a c-bet. The turn's at 8 of spades. I decide to check here, and the hijack bets out $60, and the low jack pre-flop 3-better decides to fold. Now I have third pair here. Now I just don't believe the hijack has as much of anything here, or he might be on a draw. I decided to make the call here and hopefully get to a showdown and don't have to face any more river pressure here. The river comes a queen of hearts, so the flush draw does get there. I actually do debate whether to represent the flush, because if I did have a flush draw, I would play it like this. But I figured that pocket sems are enough showdown value for me, so I check. And the hijack actually checks it back, and we say we have a pair, and we are good. So nice to win one there. Maybe a light call on the turn and pre-flop, but worked out this time.
This next hand is a weird one. We look down at ace 5 of diamonds in the cutoff. Under the gun opens to $10. I call on the button, the small blind calls, and now the big blind decides to 3-bet to $60. The initial opener folds, and it gets back around to me. I decide to make the call in position with a suited ace, and the small blind makes the fold. Heads up to a flop of ace king 9 with 1 heart. Strangely enough, he checks it to me. I decide to check back for some pot control and deception. The turn is a jack of hearts, and again he checks to me. Not really sure. I went back and forth between betting or checking here, but ultimately decided to check and take my ace 5 to showdown for a cheaper price, not let this pot get too out of control, but I think I like a bet better looking back at it. The river is now a 2 of hearts, completing the backdoor heart draw, and now he bets $100. Given the action and how he's checked twice, if I thought I was good on the turn with my showdown, I must be good on the river unless he is holding some form of hearts. I don't really know what he's doing or representing with this bet. It's a pretty close call. I decide to stick it in there, and we get the unfortunate news when he turns over jacks for a turn set. Played it very weird checking the turn and even the flop, but I probably lost the minimum with this one given the action. Sucks to lose, but it's nice to lose at least the minimum. We look down at the beautiful Cowboys in the cutoff. Middle position opens to $12. I 3-bet it to $40. The small blind calls before I even get my raising chips out there, and now the middle position decides to make the call as well. 3 ways to a flop of ace 5 6 with 2 spades. Of course an ace comes out there when we have kings. It checks to me, and I c-bet $60, but looking back at it, I think I like a check more as I do not hold a spade in my hand. The small blind folds, and now the middle position makes the call. The turn is a jack, and when he checks to me, I decide to just check this one, trying to get to showdown. I'm almost certain he has an ace here. The river is an 8. He checks to me, I check back because I don't really know what I could have gotten thin value from, given that the spade draw missed. And of course, we lose to ace 10 offsuit. Not a good session for us. This was our last hand. Gonna have to book a loss.
All right, buckle up for this hand because it gets absolutely insane. In this hand, we got pocket 9s in the cutoff, and under the gun limps and +2 raises to 25. I just make the call here considering it was an early position raise, and for some reason it was very big. So I just call, and the under the gun limper calls as well. The flop is an absolute dream 9-8-4 rainbow, and +2 does something we love and bets out for $45. With under the gun in the hand as well, I want him to stay in the hand and possibly raise or do anything if he hit this board, so I just make the call here. Under the gun takes the bait and raises to 175. I am drooling and foaming at the mouth as we speak. +2 folds, and I raise to $450. I was contemplating whether to just flat call, but considering that it was a wet board, I just wanted to put in the raise here, maybe get all the money in now. So I raise to $450, and under the gun just calls. Turns to 7 clubs, putting out a flush draw and also completing jack 10 and 6-5. So not my favorite card in the deck, and especially not when under the gun just decides to jam for my remaining 600. Now it is not a big jam, but he just jams right into me once a connecting card comes on the turn, so I'm not sure what he has. Does he have jack 10? Does he have 6-5? Does he have a straight? But I have top set. The board can pair, and he could be doing this with 2 pair, or honestly I'm not even sure what type of hand takes this line. So of course I just make the call, and turns out we are in the best type of situation. Set over set, he has pocket 8s. and he asked to run it twice. And you know, once again, these type of games, sure, we have him crushing this one. But believe it or not, someone does it to me again. Can't believe this. Why does it always happen to me? An 8 comes on the first river, giving the opponent quads. People always hit quads on me for some reason. It's a recurring theme. It is just an absolute devastation. And if we didn't run it twice, we'd be completely stacked with a disgusting cooler, a 1-outer. Obviously, the second board we win. There's no way he can win. And yeah, I guess best case scenario, we do chop here. Still unfortunate. Someone has to hit a 1-outer on me. Could have won a huge pot here. But sadly, that's not how it plays out. But fortunately, we did run it twice, and we chopped the pot here.
Shit fucking session for me. Kind of shit session for you.
It's called upstuck. It's when you win, but you didn't.
Didn't win the match.
It feels like a loss. Oh my god.
Got rivered quads when he flops top set.
That's great.
And I couldn't make a hand for my life. I suck at poker still.
I won 500, just flat.
I lost 407. Played like 7 hands.
Yeah. It's gonna be.
It's gonna be mostly Tyler this vlog, I feel like. No, I mean, no, you didn't even have that many hands though.
I don't know. It's gonna be a short one probably.
Nonetheless, we are back. Happy to get another vlog out. Thank you guys for the support. Don't forget to subscribe, please. Leave a comment what you guys think, and like. Just like, subscribe, whatever. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you guys.
This is Nick, cameraman Nick.